Hello, everyone. Welcome back to OpenLine. We're talking about discrimination in the workplace and some new proposed rules from the Trump administration that would roll back some protections that were put in place under the Obama administration. These protections deal specifically with protecting those sexual orientation, discrimination based on sexual orientation. We have a couple of calls. Let's go to the phones. We have Chris Sanders with us. Thank you, Chris, again for being here, Tennessee Equality Project. Let's go to Phil. Hello, Phil.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you for taking my call. I've called several times before, and this is a very close issue that's close to me. And first thing I'm going to say is this, and I don't mean any harm, and I'm not trying to get thrown off the radio, but Donald Trump is a clear racist, and I'll say that because of this. Ever since he's been in office, Donald Trump has rolled back every legislative property that Barack Obama has put in place ever since he's been in office. He's doing them now. He did it with the FDA when Obama added on to a lot of the inspectors and everything to inspect our food and our meats and everything. He rolled it back and got rid of all these people. He got rid of inspectors who made our food questionable when we eat it, things of that sort. The things that he does when he went to office, just like Mitch McConnell, he wanted to be a one-time president. And what he's doing methodically is going through, and you can look this up. This is true fact. You can look it up and see that he's rolled back everything that Obama has put in place. In the educational department, he's done that. Food, he's done that. Now he's working on the workplace. And the thing that it gets me is now his attorney general is, as the word came out today, that he is violating the emoluments clause and having a $30,000 party at Trump Tower in D.C.
Right.
Nothing's going to change until you get this guy out of office. You know, the gun problem, the opioid problem, all of this is not going to end until he gets out of office and we get somebody in there. And I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat, but we need somebody in this that can make America what it used to be. It's already gay, but it needs to go back to where it was when we first came to this country.
Well, Phil, okay, all right, thank you for the call there, Phil.
One of the things that brings up for me is, what do you do between elections? As a citizen, as someone who wants to be engaged. And elections are extremely important. Obviously, they have major consequences, and campaigns are starting up and you can get involved. But there are also steps that people can take between elections. When these rule changes are proposed, the public can comment. These government agencies open up forums where the public can comment. Advocacy organizations like the ACLU and others can file suit over proposed rule changes, and I believe they're looking at that in this instance. So, to a degree, we can use our courts. There are ways to engage the Congress so that some of these changes can be slowed down. So don't ever give up in a situation, because you always have options. They may not be as quick and swift in their effect as an election, but always look for ways that you can make your voice heard and make an impact.
He was saying we have seen Donald Trump roll back many of the things Barack Obama did.
Yes.
And he said that. Then he said that means racism. There are people that agree with all these things should be rolled back. So, I don't know. Again, it points to how divided our country is. There is no doubt that Donald Trump has rolled back a lot of things.
Right.
Environmental things that don't have to do with this. It's just almost a lot of things that Barack Obama did. But here's yet another one. And what do you think is behind it? Do you think it could be the conservative vice president, or I guess what was
in our case? Thinking? I think that's true on LGBTQ issues. I do want to make a distinction. There are realms of legitimate political debate where there is a difference of opinion. And there is an aspect of our current politics that has turned into there are groups that should have fewer rights and maybe shouldn't exist. And to me, that is not, and I'm not attacking you, but I want to say very clearly, that's not a there are two sides of this thing kind of deal. That's, do I get to exist and thrive in this country, or do I get kicked out, marginalized, killed, whatever? And I hate to see our politics go down that drain, but I think that's where we've been heading. And this is why it's so frustrating for many minorities to hear that there are good people on both sides. Well, there may be, but what we're talking about is whether some people will be able to exist and thrive in this country or not, and the policies that are drilling down on them, making it impossible for them to do that.
If you can't get a job, you can't thrive. So.
Right, or if your parents could be rounded up by ICE at any moment, and you're left stranded, this is what immigrant children are facing. So, yes, it can be life or death. It's not merely a two sides thing. So, yeah.
Let's go to Tony. Hello, Tony.
Yes.
Go right ahead. What's on your mind, Tony?
Yeah, I was just wondering, I thought Tennessee was a right-to-work state, and I understand that,
Right.
If people can hire and fire people, but it's got to the point now, if they are lesbian or gay people and they get in a job and they get fired because of, coming in work late or anything, and, not knowing how to do their jobs and lie about that. And then the people that hired them, they sue them and yet, I just don't understand that. A right-to-work state says that they can hire and fire anybody whenever they want to. I thought that's what it meant. And, but I'm just talking about the people that would, try to get a good paying job and then get in there and not know what they're doing. And if they got fired after the 90 days, they would consider it was against them that they were gay or transgender.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, first of all, in terms of a statement of facts, Tennessee is a right-to-work state, but that does not allow you to fire on the basis of race, national origin, religion, and some of those classes. But you can fire in Tennessee based on sexual orientation and gender identity. That is absolutely the case. So if there are LGBTQ people suing in state court over being fired for being gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender, they are not suing successfully. I think that's a myth that the gentleman brought up. That is not happening, and even if it were happening, even if suits were being filed, they're not successful at this point in Tennessee. So there's some partial truth in what he says. It is a right-to-work state, but even in right-to-work states, it doesn't mean anything goes. You can't say, we will not hire African Americans at this plant. You cannot do that.
And I think what he's saying also is that this can be used then by people, and then they don't show up on time or something like that. And if that's the concern, what do you say there?
Well, that's why it's so important for employers to document behavior whenever there is a disciplinary action. And if someone is showing up late to work, that is cause to fire. So document that. And you should be in the clear. And
in Tennessee right now, an employer could say, I disagree with the fact that someone is gay, and fire that person. And that can just happen.
Yeah. Sexual orientation and gender identity are not in our state's employment non-discrimination law, in the Tennessee Human Rights Act, not included.
All right, let's go to Lucy. Hello, Lucy.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hello.
Well, I had to call in because these issues make me tired. They really do. It just seems like such a waste of time to get stupid stuff like this out of the way so we can get on with the business of running our government in our country. Mr. Sanders, as far as you bring in your Bible, let me say this, because it's been told to me many times, you're reading the wrong Bible. You're not reading the right Bible where it's quoted as saying, better to rule in hell than to serve in heaven.
Are you quoting
the Bible
Milton?
where that is, and then you'll be on the right track.
Are you quoting Milton for us?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But anyway, what I'm trying to get to the point of is I'm thinking myself about starting, what is it, a 501(c)(3)?
Yep.
Because I see that all this federal money now is going to be thrown at this drug rehab program. So I'm going to find me a few chicken plants, get me a 501(c), and set me up a drug rehab program where I can work people 2 years for free and call that drug rehab. Now, this has gone on in North Carolina in a so-called Christian-oriented state, and they allowed this to go on and people to milk charities like that. Where I'm going with this is this. We have a law that was put on the books, paid by taxpayers, that came out through faith-based initiatives back around 2002 under the Bush administration, that gives you 2 opportunities in a 30-year period, 30-day period, to convert a homosexual. And in each instance, the church or the quote-unquote faith-based psychology, whatever it is, can make $45,000 in federal taxpayer money in each case. So if there's a failed conversion in the first 2 weeks, you got 2 more weeks to try to convert them again. You can make $90,000 in a month. That's the kind of stuff that we waste our money and time on that could go to other things. So these people love it when they can get money off, make money off of gay people, make money off poor people, and make money off drug addicted people or whatever.
Right.
But and they love it before they come into the world and they're unborn even more. So I'm sure if you look through that Bible where it says better to rule in hell than to serve in heaven, you'll find out where that logic is, because basically it amounts to making a mockery of religion.
All right, let's talk about all that. All right, Lucy, thank you so much. There's so much there, Lucy. Lucy even quotes Milton here. So we're quoting
Paradise
Milton.
Lost.
She says she's tired of these debates, that we need to move on to things, of getting our country in order. These debates are exhausting. They seem to go on and on. But they keep coming up. They're so important because these rules are being rolled back. But I guess I'll let you comment on what you want to pick out.
All right. Well, I'm tired of having to debate my existence and my friend's existence as well. But that's what we do in our political system that we have. The alternative is fighting in the streets. If we're not talking, then chances are we are preparing for violence. And I'm going to talk as long as I possibly can, and I hope fellow residents and citizens will do the same thing, because when we stop talking, that's when we're planning in our cliques for violence or defending ourselves from violence. So I understand what she's saying. I do also agree that there is money to be made in oppression, unfortunately. Money for conversion therapy, but also political contributions by whipping up fear about certain groups in the country. And that's a shame. But the only alternative is more engagement. And that's what we always try to do at Tennessee Equality Project, whether it's registering voters or getting people to speak with their state legislators. We want to be part of the conversation in every way we possibly can. So I share her frustration, and yet I feel called to do what I can and help others do what they can to change the conversation, change its tenor.
Fascinating. All right, Lucy, thank you for that call. Thank you for quoting Milton on OpenLine. All right, we're going to take a break and then come back. We have Reverend Fuzz, we have Linda, I believe we have several others. So if you want to call in, there's the number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Take a break. Be back right after this.